Good morning, Nigeria. You're tuned into Raise Breakfast, your number one youthful and thought-provoking morning show where we take on the issues that shape our daily lives and spark the conversations that truly matter. My name is Oluchi Omenka. As always, I'm joined by my amazing co-anchors, Chioma Carlo and Triumph Akimboye, the ladies who bring their warmth, wit, and wisdom to every discussion. Now, here's a big question we're diving into this morning: the gas price hike. Across the country, Nigerians are paying nearly double to refuel their cylinders. And many are asking, who's really to blame? Is it the government for weak regulation, the marketers for taking advantage, or maybe both? So stay with us because we'll be breaking it down from every angle, sharing real experiences, and of course, hearing your thoughts too. This is Ways Breakfast, where youth meet insight and every conversation counts. Now let's meet my ladies. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you miss that harmony? Good morning.
Yes, I did. And one of the things that is making me, really happy this morning is because I think this is the first time of seeing her on this table in a while.
Yes, I am
so
back
good
from
to
the
have
abroad. I went for a vacation.
Don't go further.
I have to tell my audience
Okay,
now.
please go on.
I just returned. I just arrived.
IJGB. I just got back.
But I'm really excited to be here. How are you doing
we're about
this
to
morning?
get to that point of IJGB.
Yeah.
Honestly, somebody even said 80 days to Christmas. I'm like, the pressure is already getting worse. Someone was even saying that if your December is going to make sense, it's from now. That we will be knowing.
From last month.
Ha! Please, this pressure is a lot.
They said the only person that will stay inside is who have belly.
Hey.
So put yourself
Everybody
together
should
because
go
we
up.
outside.
I saw that one. Somebody said, if you like, go carry Bele. During
We outside.
you go there inside. That's quite interesting. But what's been happening? I mean, fill me in. I've missed a lot of things.
You've missed
What's
a lot
been
of
going
things.
on?
Oluchi, I think you should calm down.
Because the way she's
No,
even talking,
exactly.
you think
Oluchi, how long have you been gone?
See,
I don't
need
need
to
she go
say-
to.
Where did you go to?
we're not going to disclose.
Because someone's fill me in. Fill you in what?
You guys don't want to fill me in. What's been happening?
I
in
mean,
your
we've been
life?
here. We've not died.
Hallelujah.
There's been a lot of flooding.
I can see that.
We've been getting
Funny how I
by.
went to a riverine area, but you do not know the area. Trust me. It's
I mean, it could be a beach
It's where-
somewhere.
It's
a
somewhere
resort. All right, so we're going to take a short break right now. When we come back, we are going to scan through the headlines this morning. We have interesting papers to dissect, and you do not want to miss any of this. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, our valued viewers. What are your thoughts on these historical milestones? I'd love to hear your insight and perspectives. Remember, you are the main ingredient in all of our conversations, and we'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Our phone lines are open. Please call us at 0702-500-7749 or 0701-424-2420. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, this is my plea to you. Go now to an official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button, like, share the link, tune into channel 145 on your Go TV, and do not miss anything that we have for you. So this morning, we want to scan the papers very briefly before we head on to our hot topic for today. We have the Punch, we have the Tribune, and of course the Guardian newspaper. And Chioma would start with the Punch.
So the biggest story we have on the Punch newspaper says, Pengasin fires back as Shetima defends Dangote. Just above the papers, we have insecurity. Tinubu to meet Council of State and Police on Thursday. Beside it, we have petrol imports dropped to 8-year low, rather, and that's according to reports. And then on the 2027 election, lawyer asks court to stop Jonathan from contesting. I wonder what his reasons are, but okay. Yes, I've already read Pengassin fires back as Shettima defends Dangote. VP warns Labour Union not to hold nation hostage. Pengassin vows repeat strike if members are sacked again. Pro-Dangote protesters accuse Pengassin of sabotage. Below the papers, we have Natasha resumes at Senate today after 6 months suspension. Whoop, whoop.
I thought she has resumed before.
Oh, no,
there was this picture I saw. They were doing opening, unveiling.
They were unsealing.
Okay,
They
unsealing.
just unsealed her office. It's today she now starts work.
All right, that's great.
Then ASU mobilizes chapters for October 13 warning strike. But the story of interest I have is not on Punch newspapers, so I'm going to just point it out. We saw it yesterday, and it was, how did it read? Just give me a moment. Let me find it. It says,
Trust Triumph to
Kano
bring
State,
such updates.
It says, Kano State government deploys first batch, meaning there are other coming batches, first batch of 380 anti-phone snatching marshals to fight phone theft.
Why do we joke a lot in Nigeria? Because if it starts with the government, I bet you we are not supposed to even be dragging any Nigerian for whatever it is that they are
I'm trying to
doing.
understand the
Because
story.
what's going on?
Now, the person that did the documentary I saw started with high spirits and renewed morale. I'm wondering.
The image looked like when
Have you seen the people?
when Oluchi was
Jesus.
going to what's it
You know,
called?
they were wearing white on white like NYSC coppers. I'm not joking, no. They were.
They
And
were
they were
holding
dancing.
their buckets. They were holding
So that means they went for a training.
Oh, yes,
They trained
for a
them.
training.
Now they graduated from the training, and they are going to help us fight phone theft.
Bam.
phone snatching. Now I saw something in the
You
comment
guys should
section.
embrace this now.
Somebody said that they will still find
They
phones.
still stole phones
Inside
inside
this
the
place.
camp. Because these people look like they went on the streets and packed these people and then gave them white and white. Did you see the way they were jumping and
380.
happy?
Well, I think it's not such a bad
380.
idea.
My question is,
Are
what's
you
the budget
serious?
for that training? How much did we spend?
It could be a private individual that sponsored.
Please,
So,
it was
I mean,
a
I am
government
looking-
individual that gave them closing speech.
I am looking at these people, like
What
I
are
am
you
looking at
saying?
these people, and then I'm wondering that what are the things that are going to happen in these people, even community? Because you cannot tell me that in this kind of place, like people are not going to lose their stuff, people are not going to lose their properties, their
No,
belongings.
maybe
phones
maybe
are
they will
not
not
allowed.
steal phones. Maybe they will steal buckets. And then we'll now bring another
You
group.
are saying, has your phone ever been stolen before?
It has.
It
So
has.
It has.
Imagine there was
we
a
need.
marshal like this that had helped you.
You
know, you
look like who stole my phone and beat him up.
You know
What
that
are
you would have been
saying?
saying something else
The
right
marshal
now.
would have been
Look
mistaken
at,
as the suspect.
Take a look, Oluchi. Just look.
The
Look
marshal
at our
will be
marshals.
taking.
I feel like they are capable. I really believe
That
they want
particular guy is capable.
very capable. Because when you see enthusiasm, you know that excellence is at the forefront.
What
so I
is
love
this?
Why are you speaking so much English as
What is
regards this
this?
matter?
Anyway, yes, that's what caught my eye today. I said I must talk about it on this table. So yes.
Thanks to Triumph for the update. I don't know where she sees all this kind of story.
What's
but thank
going
you for
on?
filling us. Let's see what your own paper has.
Okay, let's take a look at the Tribune newspaper. So the first one, Senate moves to counter narrative, may engage U.S. Congress. This is a story you would find in page 4 of the Tribune News. You know, this is in respect to the alleged genocide against Christians, right? And then to some more stories that you're going to find. National Convention, how PDP National Secretary may merge. This is coming from stakeholders. Obi challenges INEC to address certificate forgery ahead of 2027 polls. This is a story you would find in page 3 of the Tribune newspaper. And another story you would find, ASU mobilizes members for nationwide strike. ASU is that, you know, union that they don't back down easily. Before you know it, they are up and moving again. The next thing you are seeing is that they're about to go on nationwide strike. And then another story of interest, court asked to restrain Jonathan from contesting 2027 presidential election. So I'm going to be saying, you know, what happened and why they did that. And another story of interest, you know, aside that, is as in respect to same-sex marriage, Church of Nigeria rejects election of new Archbishop of Canterbury. And then the last one, Pengassan not greater than Nigeria. This is coming from federal government. I really want to reserve anything that I have to say in respect to Pengassan to when we actually start talking about the things I want to do. So I'm just going to move on from that. So let me talk about the same-sex marriage. You know, the Church of Nigeria rejects election of new Archbishop of Canterbury. Now, the funny thing that we are having right now, you know, as a nation, even in our country, is the fact that everybody believes in this word, my choice this, my choice that. Yes. And it is quite unfortunate that my choice, my personal choice, it's my life, it's my choice, is already leading us to wherever we are.
Yes.
And is a very, very unfortunate thing. Now, these people, the Church of England, right, the person that they want to appoint as the Archbishop, that's Mulali, she's coming out, or somebody that has already approved the blessings of same-sex couple. And this will mean that, you know, the whole Anglican community will be affected by this. So I think the stand of Nigeria to come out to say that we are not going to accept this kind of person is actually a great one. Yeah. Because if the religious, you know, the religious organizations can't hold on to what is right, you know, according to their religion, I think, you know, these religious bodies and then some other stakeholders that are still trying to hold on to what they believe in. That's the reason why Nigeria is not even getting worse than what it is now. Because the way we are embracing this Western culture so much is getting really disturbing. So I am really glad that they stood their position, saying that these authorities are not going to is going to threaten their unity, the unity of their global community, and what they actually represent as the Church of Nigeria.
I think, I really don't know how to comment on this story, but seeing that Nigeria is taking the stance of we are not accepting this, I'm wondering if that is okay, if that's just enough, I think that's the word, if that's just enough for them to really be immune against some of all of these actions. Because sometimes I think with the way communities work, if they eventually want to do it, you still find yourself succumbing to whatever the community head or the lead has agreed to. So yes, we are taking a stance of I am not succumbing to it, but is that stance just enough, or are we at the brink of actually just, you know, aligning and following through?
I think it's a thing of let it be known that we refused this, right, for Nigeria. Right?
And if they disagree, can they allow us to
run our own?
Saying that it's a community thing and everybody has to align to a particular value.
So I really think that the Church of Nigeria should actually be stronger, because even if they are saying that they are not going to accept, I think Nigeria needs a lot of attention right now when it comes to standards, when it comes to what we define as morality.
Yeah, we do.
So to the second word I want to talk about as regards the restraining order. So the Federal High Court in Abuja, you know, is about to issue a perpetual injunction restraining former President Goodluck Jonathan from presenting himself to any political party in Nigeria for the purpose of contesting the 2027 presidential election, according to them. So I don't misquote whatever it is that they are saying. According to them, you know, they are saying that they argued that if Jonathan were to contest and win for the 2027 presidential election, which has a 4-year term running from 2027 to 2031, he would exceed the constitutionally allowed maximum 8 years in office as the president of Nigeria.
But I don't think it makes sense. Sorry, but he's out of office.
No. It actually, I want to take the stance of these people. It does make sense. What have you noticed this trend of you've left office, you find a way to come back? I don't think that's what we need. You had your time.
I understand. I'm just saying, what if Nigerians vote him back and say, oh, we understand this, but this guy is the one we want? What would you now do?
Honestly,
because this order now, you know, whatever it is that happened, you know, Jonathan at the time he entered, my own is that if he's coming back in 2027, what is really going to happen? What different thing is he going to make? But I would appreciate if, you know, we have his first lady on board.
I mean,
you are such a very funny girl.
But then my own is, right, as much as we are saying Jonathan or no Jonathan, people have told us the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Allow the youth.
So Chioma,
we already said that they are not going to allow them.
Give me the chance.
Chioma, would you run? They say that if you do not like what's happening in politics, Abi, You be at the forefront of change. I'm going to vote for you, Chama.
You
I am going to vote. That's 2 votes.
Our producers will too.
2 votes.
Directors, you will. Like this now, they said droplets of water makes an ocean, right?
Exactly.
Parallax will vote for me, and we move.
Let me take you through The Guardian as we wrap up this session. The major headline screams student loan. Nelfund kicks as institution hike tuition fees and charges for profit. Tame inflation to enjoy reforms. World Bank advises Nigeria. Nigeria's food security goals stalled by flawed procurement policy. And this claim is from expert. 2027, Mimiko denies leading Southwest consultation team to woo Jonathan. Strike imminent as ASU mobilizes members, decries federal government in action. Bandits kill 1, kidnap 2 residents in Kwara. U.S. pressure triggers FG Senate pushback on alleged Christian persecution. Above that, we have stories on Awud Jale's tool. Over 30 aspirants screened as more jostle for throne. Certificate scandal. Mba behind my ordeals, Naji claims. And the last story says dissent to president appointing INEC officials swells. I'm going to talk about this Nelfund story because this is a cry from Nelfund themselves. You know, we have been appraising them positively, saying that, you know, at least this particular initiative from the president really have helped alleviate the pressure, the financial pressure for some students. I told you of that video of some people that were, you know, hailing him that, thank you so much for this. But now, this is about to, will I say affect them, or if you look at what's happening now, institutions are beginning to charge terribly. So there was this particular commentary that said Kogi Polytechnic raises their charges by over 1,000%. Do you know what that means? Let's even do the math. I really don't know so much maths. But imagine somebody paying 100,000 naira for school fees. 1,000%. You can imagine how much they are paying. And some of the students are beneficiaries of the Nelfund. So eventually the strain is on who? The Nelfund, who will now see more means or look for more means to increase the money that they're giving out to the students. And this is not just Kogi Polytechnic. He also mentioned that Edo, Ondo, Ebo universities, Lautech, they've all increased their school fees. I'm like, why is this happening?
What timeline were they given to pay back?
The Nelfund loan. I mean, I'm not even talking about the payback point. I'm like, why are you increasing the school fees at this point? Because let's even imagine that the Nelfund had few students who were benefiting from this. Other people who were able to manage the 100,000 and pay themselves will probably feel this more on themselves and become beneficiaries again on the Nelfund and strain the scheme even more to the point that they might even become incapable of following through.
And then there are going to be more people applying for the Nelfund because they cannot,
so what regulations
afford it.
do we have to ensure that this is curtailed? I do not know.
See,
if we can try to put a stop in the increase. Right, because I'm sorry, but if federal universities are still part of the people increasing this thing, the money is going back to the
government.
Meaning they're just ripping off the people. Do you understand? So if you're giving up loan, you now go to the bank and increase price. Imagine what it's doing to
I even feel like this tuition fees is, I mean, it's astronomical. Because few years back or few semesters back, let me use university language, there was also increase in some universities, but still increase again. So you say a semester thing.
Maybe like 2 years, 3 years ago.
Is it a semester thing at this point? It's because it's going to become a lot of
Now, the thing is that there should actually be a regulation. We keep talking about this hike in school fees, especially with federal institutions.
Yes, state-owned institutions as well.
Maybe state-owned, but state-owned institutions are really, really expensive. I don't know, maybe if it's like that for Lagos State University. But for example, Kwara State University that I'm going to, there's almost no difference for you deciding I want to go to a private university. Kwara State University. So I feel like state university, they are even more powerful than... So let me even talk about the federal universities first. There should be a way to regulate these prices. When I was in the University of Ilorin, I knew how much I was paying. Right now, they are paying maybe times
20.
It's times a lot. So there should be a regulation to actually put them in check because of the Nelfund money.
Very true. So we're going to take a short break, and our conversation today is really going to cause a lot of people to ask why. That's just going to be your comments all through. Why? The gas price hike has affected everyone. We're going to be dissecting to find out who exactly is to blame at this point and what's the solution, the way forward. You don't want to miss this. I also want to hear from you as well. How has this affected you so far? How is it like in your area? Have you adjusted? Because Nigerians have a way to adjust very quickly to certain things. Let's hear your thoughts once we come back from the short break. Welcome back. Our topic today has been titled Gas Price Hike. Who is to blame? Government, marketers, or both? You know, there are moments when you walk into your kitchen. I'm about to tell you a story. You lift your gas cylinder and realize, wait a minute, didn't I just buy gas not too long ago? That's the story for many Nigerians right now, beyond the quantity, the price. In just a few days, the price of cooking gas, what we call LPG, has gone through the roof. Reports across Lagos, Ogun, and several other states show how that a kilogram of gas now sells between 2,500 and 3,000 naira. And that same 12.5 kilogram cylinder that used to cost around 10,000 naira to 12,000 is now touching 26,000 or more. For many households, that's not just inconvenient, it's unaffordable. Now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, says this is a temporary situation, blaming it on a brief strike action by PENGASA, that's the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria. According to them, the strike disrupted loading and distribution for a few days, leading to supply shortages and an artificial price hike. But here's where it gets tricky. The strike ended days ago, yet prices haven't gone back down. So Nigerians are asking, if gas is available again, why are we still paying more? Some say marketers are taking advantage of the situation. Others argue that government's failure to regulate or monitor the market has made this impossible. Remember, this isn't the first time we've seen a sudden surge in gas prices. It's a part of a large pattern. From fuel to food, Nigerians keep paying more while trying to understand who is really responsible. So this morning on Raised Breakfast, we're asking, who is truly to blame for this gas price hike? The government, the marketers, or both? And beyond the blame game, what does this say about the kind of economic system that we're running? One where even a few days of disruption can push millions into panic. And we're going to be talking about this with the ladies. First, let me ask, does this have any direct impacts on you guys? I mean, this whole... I'm not assuming, no.
Let me...
If you be saying, you know, they use gas to cook, maybe you have some other form of cooking.
What is that?
And it does not affect you. Please tell me personally. I want to learn. I
mean, since this has started, I have not, like, actually had to go and buy gas, you know. The thing is still there. Okay. So I still have.
Oh, you had gas. Oh, at this point, you
I
need to fill up your gas.
I'm praying for my own.
I still have. So you need to be praying that, you know, you're not going to run out of gas right now. But honestly, the fact that this is linked to the agitation of the PENGASA is quite the unfortunate one, because I don't think this act is a justifiable one in any way. This is my first time in my life that I am seeing that we're having gas queues. Like, people are queuing to get gas. And it's quite serious. I mean, I was looking at the video. The lady was saying that I for carry mattress. I for carry mattress just because you want to buy cooking gas. So between Pengasan and Dangote, whatever is making Pengasan to roll out this kind of thing, and the prices are not even stable. It is busy fluctuating.
Yes.
According to what, this person that was talking, the person was saying that, 2.5, it was, it's fluctuating for 1 kg, right? From 2.5 to 3,000 and
Some
all of
even
that.
saying 2,000.
2,000. This is not justifiable. Let me start with that. From Pengasan, this is not justifiable. Whatever is happening between you and Dangote, it shouldn't be the consumers, the masses that are supposed to take the fall for it. I really don't know.
I was just going to say that.
The
It's
grass
that
will
suffer.
suffer.
Yeah.
Chama, what do you have to say about this whole thing? How has it affected you? Is it a
Like
surprise?
Triumph said, we're used to seeing fuel queues and not gas.
Yeah.
Right? So seeing gas, I think it was on Sunday when I was coming back from service. I'm like, what's going on? They say, you don't know, say gas, no, they say gas. I quickly called my brother, should we still have gas? Because it was, I don't know, this particular one will touch everybody. Because Nigerians, a lot of us, if not all of us, have moved to using gas. But now, you see these developments, right? I think I have a friend that told me that, I can't remember who said that to me, that they currently use charcoal to cook, just to save the little gas that they have. So it doesn't, for me now, I don't care what the debacle is between, is it Pengasan and Dangote. The average Nigerian don't have to suffer. And we used to have regulators that used to go around fuel stations, to check, especially when we had this fuel scarcity. They go to check, I hope you're selling on the stipulated price, I remember back then I used to do field work, I go with them. Right, and then as a journalist, you're standing by the side. And then some of them, once they shut down, I say, we're not selling again, we don't have fuel. Right?
Because they've signed you guys and they don't want you to infringe on their greed.
So they would rather tell you they don't have than actually reduce their prices to the stipulated price. And those that sell on the stipulated price, they touch the meter. So 1 liter is not 1 liter. These are part of the things the regulators also check. So I think that these regulators also have to check this for gas as well, because it's outrageous, it's not fair. These people cannot sell 2,000, or sell 3,000, or sell as you wake up and your eyes say, it be like, say, I want to collect more money. It shouldn't be like that. People are suffering. Money is not climbing as all these things are happening.
One of my thoughts, one of the things that crossed my mind when I saw that this thing is happening, like we're having gas, I'm like... Pengasan has failed. I'm sorry. I mean, because this union we are talking about, they're a very large union. They are a kind of union that they can decide to go against the federal government itself. And
which should not be.
The fact that I'm in a Nigeria that we are having queue in gas stations.
It should not be.
Something is wrong.
If you listen to Shetima's speech the other day, right? Shetima said, you can't be bigger than Nigeria. That's Pengasan now. You cannot hold the entire country hostage. Okay, let's fix whatever it is. Sometimes, like
is this not indirect hostage now?
Exactly, that's what he's trying to tell them. And this small strike should not be. And marketers are very fond of any small strike. They will hoard. They will, and then the price is very difficult for you to come down. So these things, so Shetima is saying, this thing, you can't do this to us. And yes, some people say, oh, Dangote is taking food out of their mouths. But come on, are we not all striving for the good of Nigerians? Or you're just after your profits?
But why should we be the ones to take the fall of whatever is happening between Pengasan and Dangote?
When two elephants fight, the grass will suffer.
There is no reason why people will have trust in Nigeria as a country. Why will people not even leave the country? Because
and Triumph gas has not finished yet.
That is
what is bothering you. Because by the time your gas finishes, this table is going to break. Your gas hasn't even finished and you're already like this. My own gas finished before I traveled. So I came back having spent a lot of money. Guys, I spent money. It was a lot of money.
You went for vacation.
We could leave that vacation thing. I came back, and of course, because of the amount I had with me, I knew that I can't be buying food anymore. So I stayed with someone. So I was like, oh, do you have gas? I even wanted to boil water and have my bath at that time. She was like, I don't have gas. So gas is 3 kg. 3,000 for 1 kg. I'm like, excuse me. Because I wasn't even following the news. I didn't know what was going on. I was really hit. And that's how I went to go get gas. Because eventually I have to cook. I cannot always buy food. Food is expensive. The impact of the gas will also affect people selling food. So their eggs of 400 will start turning to 700 because they're like, gas has increased. So when I went to get the gas, person was like 2,500 for a kg. I'm like, I remember when I filled this whole gas with just few amount. It was 1,400. Some people even sold for less. How come it skyrocketed at this point? And I think this is something that really hits us as Nigerians a lot. We do not get warnings.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We don't get any warnings at all. It just hits us.
No
bam. And we
apology.
are left.
No warnings.
I don't even need your apology. If there's some form of warning, maybe we'll find a way to adjust. Even though it's not like we deserve it, but it's almost like at this point, I'm even looking at this whole Pengasa story. What is the true essence of a labor union? I mean, labor unions, their mandates or the mindset they have is to ensure that their members are taken care of. These members are not aliens. They are Nigerians.
The members
that
own
have families.
that have to buy gas.
Exactly. So I'm like, do we really reason as much, or we just act on impulse? This labor union, they're not the first people to be agitated by some processes that did not work in their favor. ASU has been agitated year in,
now they're about to
year out.
embark
You did not
another
see them
strike
shut
now.
down universities, though.
Even if they do, they open it back.
They
So
open it back.
why would you go on this? Why would you just spoil things like this when you have the sole mandate to ensure that your citizens or your members and their families are taken care of? I think you are even opposing the very intricacies of what you stand for.
I need to go and find out how much charcoal people sell now to see if
Because
their own price have gone up.
You will have to buy
You know
charcoal.
one thing that made me happy
Don't
at
forget
one
that you
point
also buy
is-
what you used to.
One thing that made me happy at one point is I love the way Nigerians gravitated to using gases. Before we see kerosene, even really low-income earners could afford getting a cylinder. 3 kg at least is about 19,000, 20K. You can get 3 kg.
I got my, gas then 10,000.
Imagine.
Can you
So
imagine?
even people that cook
10,000.
in large scale, nobody has to use this firewood
Yeah,
again and stress.
the
So
stress.
this gas thing really came as a sort of solace to people to help make life easier.
And my pot is no longer going to be black.
Exactly. In fact, when gas even came out at first, my daddy especially didn't want to get gas. He was so
My
scared.
daddy too.
He was like, no, these children are very careless. And I've heard a lot of stories. But see how a lot of people have embraced it. So why are you now attacking that which many Nigerians have embraced? It's just sheer wickedness. Because at the end of the day, like you've mentioned, we are the ones who suffer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to uncover, especially with what happened with Pengas. I had to go over to read the story again, how the whole, at first it was like Dangote sacked a number of staff members that were in the Union of Pengasa because it was assumed that he wanted to employ foreigners. I think it was even Indians that they said that they want to put in there, and these people were agitated that why would you take the business out of us? Okay, then we're going to strike. And this strike was to halt the distribution of these essentials across board, and this is where we are right now. But of course, Shatima, the vice president, has come out to say that you're not more powerful than Nigerians.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's a statement we need to hear.
Because
We are
it's a
saying they're not more
statement.
powerful than Nigerians.
Then
It's just a
fix it,
statement.
yeah.
Because the reality is that they are powerful than
I'm
I'm
Nigerians.
sure even the federal government, they did not see this
They
coming.
are showing you the power. So at this point, I'm asking, what is the role of the federal government? Because if we are seeing labor unions show power and really affect us like this, it's not for the government to come and be saying, don't do this, don't do that. What are you doing to ensure that peace prevails and then people start getting normalcy?
Oluchi, beyond the fact that people are having to look for gas, people are having to get gas at that price, one of the things that, is really bothering me is that if they can get that part, when we talk about basic needs, when we talk about a need, when you withhold something from someone just to show, because they did not come out to say that, that sometimes when we go on this, we have, fuel scarcity and all of that, there's usually a reason. Sometimes not a strike, they might have a challenge or the other. But this one is like, let me just be wicked to these people. Let me just show these people that I am in power. Let me just show these people that. Now, the place of the federal government, let me go back to Pengasan and Dangote. When the federal government itself, can't actually grow to be strong enough, if our petrol sector is not strong enough on its own, then you begin to have bodies, people deciding what the federal government are supposed to decide. Because that's the problem that we are having right now. Now, the federal government cannot do anything. Because at the point where they were supposed to be strengthening themselves, they're handicapped. Because at the point where they were supposed to be strengthening themselves, strengthening everything, the petrol sector, this sector, that sector, they are doing nothing. And then you have other people, other bodies. You have something like Dangote come to say that, oh, I think I can help Nigeria. Why can't Nigeria help itself?
You know,
Chama, I really like to pause on that because there are a lot of things that she has brought out that we're going to open up, but we have to take a short break. Our viewers, please, I want to know how this has affected you personally. We've told you our stories. It will not be fair not to hear yours. So please let us know how this has affected you and what you envisage as the way forward. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back soon. Welcome back, our viewers. Today's conversation is really quite saddening because it affects the everyday Nigeria. The gas price hike is just outrageous, not expected, without any warning. We see citizens getting a kilogram of gas for 3,000, 2,500 as opposed to 1,400 or even lesser than they were getting before without any warning. And this is something that affects everyone. Even if you're one that doesn't even cook, if you're buying food from people who cooks, it affects you as well. And we've opened this conversation to look at the origin of how this started because gas did not just increase. I mean, it started from the brewing fight with Dangote and Pengasar. And one thing I'm just really overemphasizing today is I don't understand what labor unions are doing anymore. Because to me, the labor, you know, when you are doing government in school, there's a way they paint labor union for you. Like, they make it look like, exactly, your advocate that has your best interest at heart.
And will be able to, you know, present it well to the government.
Exactly, for something to be done amiably. But now we're seeing labor unions just take up actions and you are damning the whole consequence. Because I really feel like if you have people's interest at heart, your members who are Nigerians, who have families, who have siblings, maybe not directly in your particular union, but they are related to you, why now affect us this way? But of course, it's easy for us to say it from this point because we did not experience what they did. I mean, what Dangote did was termed quite outrageous in that sense by these people because sacking over 80 persons, 800, imagine, I'm saying 80. 800 persons is a number.
Meanwhile, there was an agreement with Dangote and them before.
You know, yes, and I even read, sorry to cut you short, I think I read where Dangote had to come up to say that he's going to like fix some of them again in some other places and their pay will not be reduced. So we're seeing things come back to normalcy a little in that area, but why is it not affecting the distribution and the price?
Speaking of this sack, Dangote said it was in a bid. These people, Pengasar, are saying Dangote sacked these people because they joined their union. And Dangote is saying no. These people were relieved because it's part of our reorganizational structure. Right? But he has said, okay, I'm going to bring them in back with no loss of pay, but we're going to fix them into other business units. And these people are saying, even if you bring them back and you're not giving them what they deserve or you put them in we're still going to go back on strike again. What do you really want? So because I want to please, I should not run my business well. And just like Shatima said, Dangote would have carried this money that he invested in this refinery and put in Microsoft and be chilling and be receiving his dividends. But he believed in a country and he chose to invest in this country. Why are you making life difficult?
Honestly, you really mentioned a great point. Microsoft would have been better for him. But let's talk about the opportunity. at the center of this, because it's good that we can say Dangote this, Pengase this, and everyone, but the marketers themselves, because this strike has been called off, Abi, based on the news. If something has been called off, whatever was running before should go back
to
normalcy. So why do Nigerians now see that as a means or as an opportunity? Let me use marketers or people who are, the next at the next step of really directing things. Why do they now decide to find a way to still gain from it? Because the way I understand this story is, this is an opportunity to make money. People are fighting and they could not continue the fight. Let me find a way to make money. So even when this fight has settled, we do not see things get back into normalcy. I feel like a lot of opportunism plays out in stories like this. What do you have to say?
I think opportunism would always play out when there's a weak oversight on the side of the government. The government is responsible for your macroeconomic stability and effective oversight. So it brings me back to the angle of regulators that I spoke about. Regulators are like the government's eye, to oversee what's going on. Okay, so the strike is over. This is the time for regulators to move around. What are you doing? How much are you selling? Why are you hoarding gas when you have? Right? Why are people still suffering? So you see, when this oversight is not effective, is weak, the government seems laid back. Of course, people will take it as an opportunity to extort money. So opportunism is an inevitable fact as long as effective oversight is weakened, right? We don't have it.
No, I mean, one thing about people tend to, want to make more money. People tend to look for every opportunity to get profit at the expense. People don't really care. That's one thing I have come to realize. People do not really care. They might bring on the image of, I care, I do this, I do that. But they don't. But I am also thinking about, okay, I am supposed to be hearing from bodies, in charge of consumer protection. Let's talk about FCCP now. Because these people are supposed to be there to protect. In a time like this, they don't need anybody to drag them out, because this is a season that these consumers, Nigerians, actually need you, because they can't do so much by themselves. They can't say so much. They can't. The best thing I can do is to go on social media to lament or just go and queue or something. That's the best. But there's, just like we're talking about Pengasan as a body, trying to become whatever it is that they are becoming. Bodies like FCCPC should also be out protecting these consumers. But I don't know. Maybe they are not supposed to. But according to what I read about FCCPC, they are supposed to be out now.
Yes.
Protecting these people protecting us against Pengasan and Dangote and federal government. But I don't really know. So I think these people should get to work. If not, I don't know how long this will be. And if we accept this thing is not going back to whatever price it was before.
It becomes a sustainable
When
price.
something goes up, it doesn't come down.
It's only in Nigeria that law of gravity does not work.
Honestly, we need to really do better. I think even for food prices, there was one time I heard that in some areas, it was like a law or something. It was imposed upon them to reduce it. I do not know if you people have felt that impact. The things I used to buy expensive before, I still buy them that amount. I still buy it for that amount. And I fear that this gas situation is going to remain.
Please, let it not remain.
See, it's going to remain. We have seen the trajectory of things. We have seen it. We've seen how it happens over time.
If we go back to kerosene, did you see the amount of danger we were exposed to? Explosions. Some people buy fuel thinking it's kerosene.
Yeah.
We can't go back there. We can't go back to that life. So I beg.
Oluchi, let's even talk about, beyond all this. The fact that we are having to buy these things at 2.5. Do you remember that there was a time before you decided to accept, or maybe you're yet to accept, that you're even feeling like maybe the quality of this gas has even changed? Beyond, because what you use 1 kg for before, you can't even use it for that same period of time.
Quantity.
For that same quantity. Now imagine that you're not...
I think my mom used to accuse my brothers then, because they're the ones who goes to fill the gas.
They used to buy
less
than...
So maybe last month we buy this gas. I'm like, you have to calm down at this point. It's not their fault.
Quality of the gas. We need to come out to all these people, producing these things. You people are already making it worse by not giving us a warning, like Oluchi said.
No warning.
No warning. I don't deserve to get a reason or something from you. We already have that. Even by the time you're selling at 2,500, even the quality of this gas
They're filling
itself,
air.
Is that not what Pengasa should be focused on?
Oh, no.
As a union that is in charge of petroleum distribution and whatever, is that not what you should be focused on? Whether you're just focused on something that had been resolved in some way, you are focused on doing something else. I feel like that's what happened across board in different parastatals.
Yeah.
You focus on the wrong thing. The ones that are really pressing, you do not. And it shows that if you can actually use strong action to get something done, that means on those things you have not focused on before, you could have done something better.
and this situation would actually make me accept that at the end of the day, we are the ones doing whatever it is that we are doing
as
for
we begin to
ourselves.
wrap up, there's something I'm going to say, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this, but I think that the government is really losing control when it comes to regulation. And it's like a slap on our face. In the energy markets, across board, it's almost like what we see are just press releases. Press releases is just what's raining every time. Like, you just come out to say, because Nigerians are, the point that we're in right now, we don't just want to hear this is what is happening. We need immediate action. This is the point, like you've mentioned, where these regulators should go in full force to ensure that the stopping of the strike should actually make things come back to normalcy. But what we're hearing is slow-paced. But when it's for us to get back to the strike and suffer, it's fast-paced. No, this is not what we need. We need the government to be fully active at this point, not lose control, or not make it look like, not make it look to Nigerians like we're losing control. Because it could be like they're actually in control, but to us, it might feel like you're not in control because I am still suffering from all of this. And this is, this is me tendering my sympathy to some people that do not have, let me even give you this story. So it feels as though this particular gas price, right, of course, it will affect some people more than some other persons. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
So it seems as though some people might not even clamor as much because probably they're not even the ones who fill their gas. They always tell people to go do it and we're back to normal. But there are some people, low-income earners, people who just started using gas, people who are finally happy that they could buy that cylinder of 20,000 to start using gas. They left their kerosene, their firewood. Even for people that fry a car, you can find out that some of them now use gas. To the very basic thing. So imagine them having to go back to these things. Those are the ones that my heart goes out to the most. Not even the major food vendors and all of that. Because I think for now, I've not seen any major price surge in food. I don't know if you've seen, because I still try to buy food sometimes. I've not seen any major price surge. So maybe it's like it's not affecting them as much. But for these low-income earners, these ones that are just gravitating to this other method, are going to feel the heat much more. And this is a time for government not to show or act like they are losing control when it comes to regulation. So when we go back to that question of who is to blame, I think everybody's going to collect.
Everybody.
So what are your last thoughts as we begin to wrap up?
Not just government, not just Pengasan, but also some bodies that are supposed to actually be at work. Because if Pengasan as a body has decided to do something this massive, something this great, that means they could also do some other things. That means some other bodies could also get some things in place. If not, we are going to continue like this. Beyond the low-income earners, there are actually people that, at that point in time, they don't even have. Reminds me of when I was 7. I could remember one particular gas that I wanted to buy. By the time I got there, they told me that, the gas is a certain amount. But that was all I had today. I can't even remember how I even did myself that day. But that was all I had. So some people, if you're buying something, double the price, some people might not even have at that moment or at that point in time. So let us be really
saved up that before
considerate.
this gas finishes, this amount will be able to sort this, and then they are going and they're hearing that it's double the amount.
So if I don't cook so much, these days, I will not also forget I am buying food. And before you know it, these people are also complaining that, okay, you cannot get the same portion because of Pengasan and Dangote. So please.
Well, that Pengasan has a nice ring to it, Pengasan.
Please, let all these bodies
Shama, what are your
actually
last
get to
words
work.
as we begin to wrap up this
I
conversation?
think we should just find a way to cushion the effect on poor Nigerians. If not today, give voucher, take gas voucher. Like you said, Akarasela, all of these people, go to all these very low-income earners. Take to help you. It could be part of your manifesto.
No, please don't make it a manifesto. You know why? Because that means it's not a full. It's not a full-blown problem.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm saying that it should be solved like
Right
yesterday.
now, let's not leave this as a sustained crisis. It's a temporary setback. Let's leave it as that. Let's not make it the real thing. I cannot imagine buying 1 kg of gas for 3,000 naira. It shouldn't be heard, really. now that you are not giving us light, to say, yeah, let's use electric cooker and cook
plate.
The fact that
If you use
Nigeria
hot
should have
plate,
even
you're in
advanced
trouble because
beyond
meter
gas.
is going to read.
Oh my God, but hey,
Some other countries are
Just-
talking about renewable energy. We are here still fighting
God,
gas.
please.
somebody said, God, waiting I do you.
But I feel like we're going to get better. We just
We
have to end on a
should, we
positive note.
should.
And I'm going to come back to this table to let you know
We
how
have come back.
gas has decreased. So this gas price hike reminds us how quickly a small disruption can shake everyday life in Nigeria. Families are forced to make tough choices, not because gas disappeared, but because the system failed to protect them. So whether it's government lapses or marketers taking advantage, the impact is the same. Ordinary people suffering. What Nigerians truly need now is fairness, accountability, and stability, not excuses. My name still remains Oluchi Omenka on Raised Breakfast with my incredible ladies, and we'll see you again tomorrow with another exciting, hot, sizzling topic. Have a great day.